Hi there. I wanted to talk to you about what it means to be in the present moment, to recognize that there's a whole lot more going on than anything that you're currently focused on at any given time. There's more than that. There's more than what you could possibly think about right now. The world, the way it is, the way that things are going, who has power, who and the feeling of not having power are all products of the mind. This is you telling yourself these things. And as you experience them, you recant the tale back to yourself. And you listen to it too as you try and understand what's going on. We're all trying to figure out what's going on. But all that's ever really happening is right in front of you. It's just right now. There really wasn't anything else going on except the wave of other people's goings on. Other people are experiencing right now too. And what they're doing right now is affecting us. It's affecting all of us. But what they don't have influence over, unless you give it to them, is your now. And where you place your attention, what you're going to do next, how you spend your time. So coming into what's happening, this new world, this brave new world that we're stepping into, we need to remember that there's really only one thing that we need to worry about, and it's what's right in front of us. The people we're with, the environments we occupy, and the words we speak. Those are our choice. We shape those. Nobody else has to does that for us. Nobody else has to do that for us unless we let them. And oftentimes the reason that you believe so adamantly what you believe is because other people believe it too. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you are something that's even greater than that. You are the one living your life. You are the one that's you. Nobody else can do that. So your now is your responsibility. Where you put your attention, where you put your time. If that's right here, right now, all I'm going to do is point it right back to this thing right here in front of you. That doesn't go away. I will go away as you go and do other things, but right now doesn't go away. That's the thing that doesn't go away. So I'm telling you in very practical terms, if you direct your attention to that and do something about right here, right now, then you will experience more harmony, more balance, more peace. Because you are no longer taking in all the disturbance and disgust and energy that's coming off of everybody else, everybody's story about what's going on, who's in power and who does this and who's what's that, and this is who I am and this is what I believe and this is where we're all going. That's coming off of everybody, and it's coming off of you too. We all have equal hand in this. We're all doing this. It's called co-creating. We do it with our words. We speak. We speak, and thus it happens. It begins. It begins a chain of thoughts. It begins a chain of actions, and then that happens. And then that happens. You can't control what other people are doing. You control right now. They are in command of their right now. That's how it works. That's how it works with all of us. So right now is where your power rests. It's where your peace lies. That's what you need to remember at this time. For anybody that made any choice, you are responsible for the choice that you made. You are responsible for the vote that you cast. Or if you didn't cast, you're responsible for that. You're responsible for doing and not doing, because not doing is an action too. You're just choosing to not do anything. These are wild times. For some, scary times. For others, joyous, victorious. But one thing remains the same. Each and every one of us is responsible for the space that we occupy. That is both the physical space that you see around you and the mental space that you carry with you everywhere you go. The fact that right now is really what it is transcends whatever you believe about it. It allows you to believe. It allows you to have an experience. And this thing, this mysterious thing, is behind your eyes, but it's also right in front of you. And we can call it consciousness, we can call it spirit or soul. And it's a mystery, I assure you, especially when you haven't been looking at it for very long and you've been cast out looking at the world as you see it. The world that everyone else presents in their belief systems and what's actually going on is quite different. As a matter of fact, everything is unfolding perfectly without flaw. Right at this very moment, everything is happening as it's supposed to, based on the choices that were made by the individuals experiencing it. The universe doesn't need your help in figuring out what to do next. It just does it. If it needs to be born, it will be born. If it needs to die, it will pass on. And it will continue the cycle of beautiful existence for an eternity, beyond your limited view as an identity, as a person living a life at this day and age, in this mass dream that we're all a part of. When you're dreaming, you forget about this, and you forget about it quickly, because there are other worlds than this. And what you don't realize is that the world you're in, you took the steps to get there. You chose the steps to get into the world that you're in. Regardless of whether or not you voted for the person that won, it doesn't matter. That's what everyone else created. That's what the mass consciousness created. But your consciousness is in charge of your life. Your now is your point of power. That's where you're getting everything done. That's where your words are making an impact. And it happens so seamlessly, and we're so caught up in thought that we're not paying attention to the words we're saying. We're not fully listening to the words that are coming out of our mouths when we say them in the terms of, hey, if I say that, it might actually make something happen. So there's a meaning that's stripped out of those words. When you say those words, you say them in jest, you say them, oh, it might not work. You believe that there is this chaos that's real and that exists and that you really can't know what will happen. And this is true. But if that chaos must exist, then so must the harmony exist, the truth, the balance, the point at which everything comes together in bliss. People have the experience. There is such a thing you can see in the world outside of you, but it comes to you through the filter of everyone's mysterious ways of seeing the world and how they pick that up from everybody else. And they haven't closely analyzed it to understand what they are incanting throughout the day as they're walking through, just thoughtlessly thinking, mindlessly talking. The connection isn't being made there. The heart and the mind are pulling in different directions, and you can see it in the country. I can tell you one thing. If spiritual awakening wasn't happening before this election, it's definitely been triggered now. And I think both sides will hear that and resonate. We've all got a choice. We all choose what we're going to do, who we're going to spend time with, what we're going to care for. We determine what meaning is. We are the ones that imbue meaning on life. It's up to us if we decide that somebody else does that for us. And that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then you have to keep in check, how in line are you with that, if that is the thing that you believe in. And if you're suffering through it, then I'd imagine that there's some point in following through with what you believe that somebody else taught you that you are not in line with. And that's how it works. You get in line with your word. You speak from the heart. You let the heart have no filter and have the ability to express itself in fullness, in full, genuine authenticity, with boldness and confidence, then you will live a spiritually awakened life, my friend. I am here because I need to make spirituality a little bit more serious for people, a little bit more down to earth, a little more practical in your immediate sense of what's going on. You have to realize that really, I'm very serious when I say this, right now is all that matters. It's all that matters most, especially, and it comes to that fine point tip right here, right now. That's where literal material experience is happening. The heart pumping through me, the light bouncing off of everything in the room and giving the illusions of color. The way that all of that is imaging together is happening over this expanse of consciousness that you can call right now. It's the thing that's happening right in front of your face. And in order for that to happen, this has to happen. The person that's experiencing the life has to be there first, okay? The thing that you're experiencing is fleeting and transitory. It's going to change. It always changes. Even if it looks the same every single day, it's not. What stays the same every day is what you're telling yourself. When you recant the same spiraling thoughts, you are laying out a path that you're going to walk as you tell yourself what you're going to do. And then there's a scale there, is how many times did you actually follow through with what you were going to do or say or tell somebody else? And how consistent is your meaning coming from your heart into the word that you project out into the universe? How on point is that? That's going to determine a lot how easy it is for you to gain authority in your life, gain boldness and conviction in who you are and what you stand for, while also being at peace with that, not needing to defend it because you occupy your own sovereign space or state of mind. That's what we have control over. This is a call to action for anyone out there to recognize that what's going on right before them is actually the most important thing that they should be focused on. What can you do to improve the quality of the moment you occupy? And it all is determined by how you spend your time, where you place your attention. Because you're right now, this moment, as you are hearing the words that are exiting from my lips and hitting your eardrums, that is the singular instant moment that if you focus and harness your attention to that thing, you will be able to free yourself of the drama of everything else that's going on. You will recognize the distinction between what's going on in your mind in a virtual conceptual space and what's actually going on in front of you. The squirrel running across the fence, the glass of water on the desk, everything that's going on right now here in this room, right here, right in your hand, right here, right now. That's all that's really ever going on. And if you were to put your heart into that with authenticity, with integrity, with kindness and grace, then you will thereby lay out the steps for a better life for you and everyone else.